I still remember that day clearly, not because I expected drama, but because I walked into it completely unprepared. It was one of those ordinary weekday evenings, the kind where life feels heavy but predictable. Work had drained me mentally, my feet hurt, and all I wanted was to grab a few groceries and go home. No excitement, no conflict, just routine. Or so I thought. I pulled into the parking lot of my local grocery store just after 6 p.m. The sun was beginning to dip low, casting long shadows across the pavement. The store was busy but not chaotic. Families, elderly couples, college kids, all moving through the sliding doors with carts and baskets. I grabbed a handbasket instead of a cart. I only needed a few things: milk, bread, chicken, and some vegetables. I remember thinking, good, I'll be in and out in 10 minutes. That thought would come back to haunt me. Inside, the store buzzed with the low hum of conversations, scanners beeping, carts rolling over tile. I made my way through the aisles quickly, deliberately avoiding the middle where people always seemed to stop and block traffic like they were sightseeing. 10 minutes later, basket in hand, I headed toward the checkout area. That's when I saw the lines. Every register was open, but every single one had at least 6 or 7 people waiting. It was one of those evenings where everyone in the neighborhood apparently had the same idea at the same time. I sighed quietly but got in line anyway. The line I chose had 3 people ahead of me. A tired-looking dad with 2 kids arguing over candy. An older woman with a modest cart and coupons in hand. A young college guy scrolling on his phone with earbuds in. I stood patiently behind them, shifting my weight from one foot to the other, basket resting against my leg. And then I felt it, that strange, unmistakable sensation that someone was standing too close behind me. I turned slightly. Behind me was a woman, mid-40s, maybe early 50s, perfectly styled blonde bob, heavy makeup, designer handbag slung over her shoulder, and a shopping cart so full it looked like she was stocking up for the apocalypse. I'm talking overflowing, cases of soda, frozen food stacked high, bulk paper towels, a family-sized pack of toilet paper balanced precariously on top like a crown. She wasn't subtle. She pushed her cart forward until it bumped the back of my leg. I turned around fully this time. "Sorry," I said instinctively, even though I hadn't done anything. She didn't apologize back. Instead, she sighed loudly, dramatically, and rolled her eyes. Strike one. I faced forward again, choosing not to engage. I've learned that some people are just looking for a reaction, and I wasn't about to give her one. The line moved forward a few inches. I stepped up. So did she, except she stepped too far. Her cart rolled past me slightly, its front corner now beside my basket. I looked down, then back up at her. "Excuse me," I said calmly. "The line starts back there." She gave me a tight smile, the kind that doesn't reach the eyes. "Oh, I'm with you," she said. I blinked. "No, you're not." She let out an exaggerated laugh. "Yes, I am. I just ran to grab a few things." A few things. I glanced pointedly at her cart, overflowing, stacked high, clearly a full weekly grocery haul. I raised an eyebrow. "You ran to grab all that?" Her smile vanished instantly. She leaned closer, lowering her voice like she was doing me a favor. "Look," she said, "I'm in a hurry. I have kids waiting in the car." That was the moment irritation started bubbling in my chest. "I'm sorry," I replied, keeping my tone even, "but everyone here is in a hurry. You need to go to the back of the line." Her face hardened. "I was already here," she snapped. "You just didn't see me." Now the people ahead of me had started to notice. The dad with the kids turned around. The older woman glanced back over her shoulder. I could feel eyes on us. "I've been standing here for several minutes," I said. "You came up behind me." She scoffed. "That's your opinion." That's when disbelief hit me. I wasn't arguing about a political issue or a misunderstanding over a price. This woman was seriously trying to gaslight me about the physical reality of where she had been standing. I took a breath. "Ma'am, please move your cart back." Instead of complying, she did something bold. She shoved her cart forward, past me, wedging it in front of my basket. I stared at her in shock. She crossed her arms and smirked. "There," she said. "Problem solved." For a split second, I was too stunned to speak. Did she really just do that? The dad in front of me finally spoke up. "Hey," he said firmly. "That's not cool. You can't just cut the line." The Karen whipped her head around toward him. "Mind your own business," she snapped. The kids went quiet. The older woman with coupons turned fully around now, eyes narrowed. "Excuse me," she said. "We've all been waiting. You need to go to the back." The Karen looked around, clearly not expecting resistance. Her voice rose. "Are you all serious right now? I have a full cart. It makes more sense for me to go first." That sentence hung in the air. Silence. I almost laughed, not because it was funny, but because it was so absurd. That's exactly why you don't go first, I said. People with fewer items get through faster. She threw her hands up. This is unbelievable, she shouted. The entitlement in this store is insane. The irony was so thick you could taste it. A cashier at the next register glanced over. A few people from neighboring lines started watching. I could feel adrenaline pumping now. My heart was racing, not with fear, but with anger and disbelief. Ma'am, I said loudly enough for others to hear, you cut in line. Please move. She leaned toward me, eyes blazing. Make me. That was the moment I realized she wasn't going to back down quietly. But she had underestimated one thing. People were watching. The dad spoke again. Lady, either move or we're calling a manager. She sneered. Go ahead, I know the manager. Of course she did. Someone behind her, another customer who had joined the line, pulled out their phone and started recording. I noticed it out of the corner of my eye. The Karen noticed too. Her confidence flickered for just a second. Then she doubled down. I'm not moving, she declared. This line is ridiculous anyway. That's when the cashier at our register finally spoke up. Ma'am, she said calmly, you need to go to the back of the line. The Karen spun toward her. Are you kidding me? Do you know how much money I spend here? The cashier didn't flinch. I don't care, she replied. Please move your cart. People around us murmured approval. The Karen's face flushed red. This is harassment, she yelled. I'm being attacked. No one touched her. No one raised a hand. She was playing the victim card hard. The store manager, a tall man with a name badge, came walking over. What seems to be the problem? He asked. The Karen immediately launched into a dramatic story. This man shoved me, she said, pointing at me, and these people are ganging up on me. The manager looked at me. Is that true? I shook my head. No. She cut in line and refuses to move. Before the Karen could interrupt, the dad chimed in. Then the older woman, then the cashier. Even the person recording spoke up. The manager listened quietly, eyes shifting back to the Karen. Ma'am, he said finally, you need to go to the back of the line. She exploded. This is discrimination, she screamed. I demand service. The manager's voice hardened. No, he said. You can either go to the back or you can leave. The Karen froze. You could see it on her face, the realization that she had lost control. Her mouth opened, closed, opened again. People were staring openly now. Her cheeks burned bright red. Slowly, painfully slowly, she grabbed the handle of her cart. She muttered something under her breath. Something about rude people and never shopping here again. Then she did the unthinkable. She abandoned the cart. Right there, full of groceries, she stormed out of the store, heels clicking furiously against the tile, head down, shoulders tight. The automatic doors slid open and swallowed her whole. For a moment, no one moved. Then someone clapped. Another person laughed. The tension broke like a snapped rubber band. The cashier smiled at me. Next, please. I stepped forward, heart still pounding, basket in hand. As I placed my items on the belt, I glanced toward the abandoned cart. It sat there, overflowing, silent, a monument to entitlement and shame. I paid, grabbed my bag, and walked out into the evening air. The sun had fully set now. I sat in my car for a moment before driving away, replaying the whole thing in my head. All of that, overcutting a line. And as I pulled out of the parking lot, I couldn't help but think. Some people really believe the world should move aside for them. But sometimes, just sometimes, the world pushes back.